Since the 1970s, the Philippine Air Force concluded that having a purpose-built attack helicopter with more speed and firepower is crucial for an operation against insurgency. All attempts have been unsuccessful due to a lack of funding and support from the government. In 1990, the Philippine government voted for an alternative to an expensive purpose-built attack helicopter and decided to acquire more than 30 brand new units of MD Defender helicopter from the US government under a foreign military sales deal. The quantity ordered was large enough to create squadrons and retire older air assets. The MD Defender is a small light attack helicopter, easy to maintain and operate, and simple helicopters that have been in service with the Philippine Air Force for decades. Currently, the Philippine Air Force has a shrinking fleet of MD helicopters, which are now nearing completion of their service life, and replacements are needed. An earlier attempt to replace them with the Augusta-Westland W109E light-armed helicopters have proven to be insufficient. The Philippine Air Force has now decided to go for purpose-built attack helicopters. In this video, we will see the attack helicopter project of the Philippine Air Force to improve its combat capability, and soon will be operated by the Philippine Air Force 15th Strike Wing. Looking at how much it cost, how many units will there be, but more importantly, we will look at what it is capable of, and when we could see it in action.
330 for 62 low 665.
301 Freedom Earth, showcase for recovery, CV1 approach, expected final bearing 331, altimeter 3001. 301 Marshall 170, 24 Angels 9er.
In 2016, the Philippine Air Force calls for the acquisition of 24 armed light helicopters that will ultimately replace the existing fleet of aging MD helicopters that have been in service with the 15th Strike Wing since 1990. It has an approved budget of 11.8 billion pesos, but in 2017, the budget increased to 13.8 billion pesos. The plan was to select a dual-engine armed light helicopter model, similar to the Leonardo W109E helicopters, already in service since 2015, which can carry weapons like rocket, gun pods, and capable of other missions like search and rescue and utility. Among those considered were the following dual-engine light helicopters. The Augusta-Westland helicopter of Italy, which is an improved version of the Philippine Air Force existing Augusta-Westland helicopter, with more powerful engines and better avionics. Airbus helicopters of France with the H-Force weapon system, which is said to be the best in its class. An armed variant of MD helicopters, the MD Explorer of the United States. Hindustan Aerospace Limited with their Rudra helicopter of India. And an armed variant of the Bell helicopter, the Bell Global Ranger. The leading contenders, based on the light helicopter platform, were the new variant of Leonardo Augusta-Westland helicopter, which benefits from being already in service with the Philippine Air Force, and Airbus helicopters H145M with superior performance. In 2017, everything changed on the project when the Philippine Air Force re-evaluated its capabilities and performance during the Battle of Marawi against ISIS-inspired terrorists. It found out that the MG Defender and the newer Augusta-Westland 109E helicopters did not have sufficient firepower. This further complicated the decision-making. When in the same year, the Philippine government received confirmation from the Jordanian government that they would be handing over to use Bella H-1S Cobra attack helicopters. It means the Philippine Air Force would be getting purpose-built attack helicopters, despite being old, which would improve the firepower delivery capability of the Philippine Air Force during internal security operations. In 2018, the project changed its direction from acquiring a higher quantity of light-armed helicopters. It is now interested in getting purpose-built attack helicopters even in a smaller number, which are more capable regarding their performance and combat capability, but are also more expensive to acquire than armed light helicopters. Among those purpose-built attack helicopter models considered by the Philippine Air Force are the following. The Mi-35 Hind of Russia is a large helicopter gunship and low-capacity troop transport with room for 8 passengers. Produced by Mil Moscow Helicopter Plant and has been operated since 1972. by the Soviet Air Force and its successors, along with 48 other nations. The Mi-28N Night Hunter of Russia is an all-weather, day-night, anti-armor attack helicopter. It is an attack helicopter with no intended secondary transport capability, better optimized than the Mi-35 gunship, also developed by Mil Moscow Helicopter Plant, and is known by the NATO codename Havoc. The Eurocopter Tiger of France, Germany, and Spain is a multi-role attack helicopter designed to perform armed reconnaissance, air or ground escort, air-to-air combat, ground fire support, and anti-tank warfare, day or night, and in all-weather condition. Developed by European multinational aerospace corporation Airbus. The H-64 Apache of the United States is a twin turboshaft attack helicopter with a tailwheel-type landing gear arrangement and a tandem cockpit for a crew of 2. It features a nose-mounted sensor suite for target acquisition and night vision systems, developed by Boeing. The H-1Z Viper of the United States is a twin-engine attack helicopter based on the H-1W Super Cobra that features an U-braided transmission and a new target sighting system, developed by Bell Textron for the United States Marine Corps as part of the H-1 upgrade program. And the T129 ATAK of Turkey is a twin-engine, tandem-seat, multi-role, all-weather attack helicopter based on the Augusta A129 Mangusta platform, developed by Turkish Aerospace Industries with partner Augusta Westland. The Department of National Defense and the Philippine Air Force did look at Russian Mi-28N Night Hunter and Mi-35 Hind attack and assault helicopters, but did not take them seriously due to issues on interoperability, compatibility, pricing, and requirements, and the Mi-35 Hind is too big and too expensive to operate. While the Mi-28N is also expensive, although cheaper than its American counterparts. The Department of National Defense made several trips to Moscow, including Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana and the Philippine Air Force to check on the Russian offers. Russia offering use the improving Philippines-Russia ties, proven Russian technology and weapon systems, and is more affordable than comparable Western equivalents. Russia also mentioned their willingness to provide more to a potential new customer unfamiliar with Russian weapon systems. But apparently, Philippine Air Force prefers to start with something simpler, like a transport or utility helicopter from Russia. This where the interest in the Mi-17-1SH comes to mind. The Philippine Air Force believes the attack helicopters represent the main asset that they cannot afford doing trials, especially for an advanced combat system for a first-time Russian arms user like the Philippine Air Force. Another issue raised was the Countering American Adversaries Through Sanctions Act of the United States. The Philippine Air Force also considered the Airbus helicopter's Tiger, but did not give too much attention due to its reputation of not meeting the expectations of users. The Australian Army did provide feedback on the Tiger attack helicopter several years back, and the Philippine Air Force seems to have remembered them well. The Bella H-1Z Viper was too expensive. It turns out that the US offered the Bella H-1Z Viper and Boeing H-60 for Apache Guardian, and in packaged with US foreign military financing and foreign military sales programs. But despite this, the Department of National Defense and Philippine Air Force are concerned by the steep price and the long delivery lead time with US foreign military sales implemented projects. The Turkish Aerospace Industries T129 ATAK is the second cheapest purpose-built attack helicopter in the Philippine Air Force list, after the Mi-35 Hind was said to be the cheapest to acquire, and appears to be the smallest as well. Even compared to the H-1Z Viper, it is smaller and lighter, by a large percentage, while its small size may have reduced its operational range and carrying capacity. Compared to other attack helicopters, it is further advantageous for the T129, with a smaller radar cross-section as being harder to see and target, and with its performance and capabilities is the best alternative to those in American and European models. In the fourth quarter of 2018, the Philippine Air Force Technical Working Group selected the Turkish Aerospace Industries T129 ATAK helicopter as its primary choice, But the problem happens with the signing and the release of the notice of award, when Turkish President Erdogan decided to acquire the Russian-made S-400 Triumph long-range air defense system that has placed Turkey at odds with its allies, with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO and the US government have been asking Turkey to reconsider its acquisition of the Russian S-400 system, since it would expose vulnerabilities on the Lockheed Martin F-35 fighter aircraft, which Turkey also plans to buy as their next-generation fighter aircraft. The US believes that the considerable exposure of the F-35 to the S-400 radars and targeting system could transmit data to the Russian manufacturers of the system, and ultimately to the Russian military and government, which would enable them to get valuable information on the aircraft, and probably create ways to counter it. The US gives them a deadline of up to the end of July 2019 to cancel the deal with Russia, but Turkey still insisted on pushing through to acquire the S-400 missile. Then the US government sanctions Turkey, including the cancellation of the sale of the F-35 to them. This sanction also includes the export of technology, equipment and components, spare parts, weapons, and munitions. In the second quarter of 2019, issues surfaced on the ability of Turkish aerospace industries to deliver the T129 ATAK to the Philippine Air Force, as the Turkish government caught in a political and trade spat with the US government. The US decided to halt exporting crucial components of the T129 ATAK helicopter, which is the LHTEC, T-800 turbine engines, and other avionics systems. These issues prompted the Department of National Defense and the Philippine Air Force to stop awarding the ATAK helicopter acquisition project to Turkey and re-evaluate previous offers, rather than resetting the entire program. Although a re-evaluation in process, the Department of National Defense and the Philippine Air Force had continuous discussions with Turkish aerospace industries, which determined on reassuring the Department of National Defense and the Philippine Air Force on going for the T129 ATAK is still the best choice. The Philippine Air Force re-examined the companies and products that previously made offers, including the new company's offers are the following. The Bell helicopters anchored their offer on refurbished H-1W Super Cobras instead of new H-1Z Vipers. Bell helicopters believe that the Philippine Air Force, possibly unable to afford to have a relevant fleet of Vipers, and having the Super Cobras instead would make more sense, and realistically make it more possible for Bell to win the project. Airbus helicopters offered the H-145M light armed helicopter with the latest Airbus H-Force platform interchangeable onboard weapon system, which gives the light helicopter more teeth, and a strong reason to be considered after several countries took it in, as a cheaper alternative to attack helicopters. Sikorsky helicopters offered the S-70I Battlehawk armed helicopter, sharing the same platform as the S-70I Black Hawk. The Battlehawk features the same performance, while being modified with modular systems that transform the utility helicopter into an assault-armed helicopter, capable of missions similar to those of an attack helicopter. Along the sidelines, Turkish aerospace industries continued to pursue the project with their T-129 ATAK helicopter. In the end, the Philippine Air Force and the Department of National Defense still proceed with the Turkish aerospace industry's T-129 ATAK helicopter from Turkey, after getting a secure source of LHTEC engines, avionics, and provides support, spare parts, and logistics needs for the Philippine T129B Atack Helicopter. In the third quarter of 2020, the Department of National Defense has released the 15% initial payment for the Attack Helicopter Acquisition Project, which means that the Department of National Defense already signed the contract to proceed with the project. The T129 ATAK Multirole Combat Helicopter, optimized for specific hot and high-performance requirements of the Turkish Armed Forces. It is a tandem-seat, twin-engine, NATO interoperable attack helicopter, optimized for attack, armed reconnaissance, precision strike, and deep strike missions at day and night, all environments, and regardless of weather conditions. The T129 ATAK incorporates asymmetric weapon loading capability and enables the use of all weapons effectively according to mission requirements. For close combat support missions, a 20mm turret gun with a capacity of 500 rounds. And 70mm classic rockets, or laser-guided rockets, with a capacity of 76 rockets have been integrated. Whereas for multi-purpose missions, it can carry 16 70mm laser-guided air-to-ground missiles, or 8 long-range anti-tank missiles. And 8 air-to-air missiles are integrated, as well as the state-of-the-art electronic warfare systems and electro-optical systems. The T129 ATAK cockpit provides situational awareness through good visibility curves, and integrated mission and communication systems. With its advanced targeting sight system, it increases image quality and range performance with real-time image processing and multiple target tracking with a thermal camera, laser rangefinder, designator, and spot tracker with a range of 20 kilometers. It has a VCI helmet integrated cueing system. It is designed for helicopter platforms to improve the pilot's situational awareness and increase the capabilities of the pilot. With its night vision capability, transmit video to the pilot with colored symbology and with accurate head tracking. The T129 helicopter technical data. It has a length of 14.5 meter, height of 3.40 meters, and width of 3.49 meters. It has two-crew tandem, main rotor diameter of 11.90 meters, fuel tank capacity of 756 kilograms, and a maximum takeoff weight of 5,065 kilograms. Performance at average mission weight, international standard atmosphere sea level, maximum cruise speed of 281 kilometers per hour, power out of ground effect, 4,221 meters, hover in ground effect, 4,572 meters, rate of climb, 13.26 meters per second, vertical rate of climb, 7.3 meters per second, service ceiling, 4,572 meters, operation range in standard tank configuration, up to 537 kilometers, and it has endurance of 3 hours. The Philippine Air Force will expect the product for delivery starting late 2021 to 2022. This advancement in the Philippine Air Force modernization will boost the morale of the armed forces of the Philippines and its counterinsurgency capabilities, as it deals with a range of internal and external security threats.